Myself is Pooja Miss, and let me explain today the topic is comparing quantities for class 7. In comparing quantities, just like as a comparison of two numbers, but in that topic, three are the main basically topics. First is ratio, and the second is profit and loss, and third is percentage. So first what I will tell you is ratio. So what is a ratio? Ratio are comparison of two numbers or quantities when one is divided by the others. For example, write so in the comparing quantities, the first case is ratio. So what is the definition of the ratio? Ratio are comparison of two numbers It means says when one is divided by the other. For example, write just as if Ram has 100 rupees and Syam has 300 rupees. So how can we write in the ratio form? Write the amount of the ratio form. Ram and Syam both are the symbol is small form, and we write in the ratio form the Ram has amount rupees 100 and the Syam has amount is equal to 300. So in the ratio form we write P by Q. P by Q means one is numerator and other is denominator. So both are the form we write in the ratio form. Why? We write both are in the division form. One thing is more important. Both the units are same. For example, if Ram has rupees 100 and the Syam has rupees 3000 paise. So these are not in the ratio form and not we write in the ratio form. Why? Because both the units are not same. One is rupees units and the second is paise. So we have not write in the ratio form. So first, if we convert in the ratio form, we write the units are same and convert into the same unit. So there is a same unit. So we write now 100 is to 300 and we reduce the terms. We write now the 1 is to 3. So this is called the simplest form of this amount. Next thing, equivalent. How can we write the equivalent ratio? So let us forward. Equivalent ratio. Equivalent ratio are for the ratio also the equivalent. We check now. The first example is 3:7. We write 3/7. And the second is 12:28. We reduce the terms 4 threes and 4 sevens. So look at this example. Both are the same ratio. So this is called the equivalent ratio. And the next examples we write now. We can check the next examples is equivalent or not. We can check them. The second example is 2:7 and 5:14. You know, right? 2/7 and 5/14. Because 5 is a prime number, so we cannot divide if any numbers. Because prime numbers, I know that it is divisible by only one and number itself. So look at this. These terms are not a equivalent ratio. So this is not an equivalent ratio. It is not a equivalent ratio. Next thing is, in the ratio form, we also write in only two terms are available, but in proportion, because ratio and proportion both are including. So what is a proportion? A proportion has four terms. These all terms are equivalent and equal. So we write proportion. Proportion is the ratio is the Hindi meaning anupat, and proportion is the samanupat. So samanupat means all the value are equal. In proportions are four terms. We write A, B, C, D. What is relation between A, B, C, D? In the form of proportion. So this is the relation. We write now A:B, because this is the called the ratio, and proportion means equal form. Equal form. So we write. So the symbol of the proportion is, this is called the symbol of the proportion. This is called equal. A:B, proportion C:D. So now we write, what is the relation A, B and CD? So by the form of proportion, the rules is A into D is equal to B into C. What we call this A into B? A into D. So this is called the product of extreme. Product of extreme. And the next is called product of means. Product of extreme and product of means. Means there is a first term, second term, third term and fourth term. If you multiply the first term to the fourth term, that is called a product of extreme, and we multiply the second term and the third term, that is called the means. So the second and third terms we call the means, and the first and the fourth term, the product is product of extreme. Now let us forward. Next thing is, now we explain. The second topic is in the comparing quantities, because three basic concepts. First is ratio, second about profit and loss. Dear students, now we explain the profit and He makes a profit. How much profit? So 23 minus 20 is equal to 3. So 3 rupees per kg get a profit. But in case of another example, if a person buys the things, buys the rice per kg rupees 20 and sells it at 18 per kg, so he makes a loss. For example, a man buys his goods rupees 20 per kg and sells rupees 18 per kg. So he suffers a loss. He suffers a loss. How much loss? 20 minus 18 is equal to 2. So the meaning of this example, profit and loss, all are depends on selling price and cost price. So what is the selling price? How can we say this is called the selling price and the cost price? So the simple example, selling price, a person, if any person thinks, sells, if a person buys anything, that is called the selling 20 by 100 and also known as it is symbol with 20%. So let me explain the another examples. Find 15% of 400. So now we write 15 by 100 into 400. And now we solve this value. Then the value is, find the value. The value is 60. So thank you students. Let me explain next another topics.